All right, guys, welcome back. Today we'll be catching up on a little side note, a little side job on actual customs, actual responsibility when it comes to consumer affairs, and there's throughout the government, there's different agencies in charge of you know frequencies and broadband and all that, but uh, sometimes when these actual manufacturers out in Asia they try to cut corners, it can affect the consumer, and it can affect them in a very how do you say nefarious, very sneaky way. And the way they actually manufacture these actual appliances, whether it be microwaves, mixers, you know, irons, anything, and it's happened to, if not all, the majority of us. When that warranty is about due, not much longer, that actual unit stops working. And this is only one actual execution. They say only one way. This is actually one example of what can be done to manipulate these types of devices. And you start thinking about it, these guys run tests, these guys run actual uh, machines for hours, for days, for weeks, for months, and until they break down. And that's when they start actually collecting all the data, and they know what they're doing, and who can stop it? I mean, who can stop it? Nobody's gonna be sitting there and try to investigate every actual unit to that comes out of that factory. But you can only hope that you get the good one, right? So, okay, so when you have these actual transformers or these actual magnetic motors, when they say magnetic, it means that inside that actual, almost like a cylinder, uh, the magnetic either releases or it actually releases or actually connects to the magnet in order for the wheel to go forward or back. That's just an example. They can be used in many, many different ways. So the magnetics is actually what's actually triggers a go and stop on, let's say, for example, power wheelchair motors. Something inside there is actually making it connect to the magnet, releasing it. But in that actual cylinder, there's a certain spot that actually has copper, and it's number one, thick copper, and it's actually twisted to make a good current, to produce a good current from the transformer, okay? And you need that in order for the magnet to work and to let go and to catch, right? So when you actually create a, it's not going to be as hard, it's not going to be as sturdy, but you produce a number one. And when I say number one, that means that'll be a solid matter instead of like when you plug into charge your phone, whatever. There's a bunch of hairs intertwined to make one solid connection. Well, this number one copper is one solid stem, but the stem will be actually made out of aluminum. That aluminum will be dipped in copper. Like if you were to nickel plate actual your rims and you just dip it and it has a coat, the entire thing's not nickel, the entire thing's not copper, it's aluminum. And it's dipped in there and it's actually now it's creating an actual copper connection and actually it created that actual how do you say it imitation. So your electronic device is gonna work perfect. It's gonna it's actually gonna go through its steps. It's actually gonna go through the actual warranty phase. And soon after, in some part, in somewhere along the spool, that actual copper that was dipped will actually start wearing off. So therefore, now you have aluminum, and it doesn't work as good as the actual copper. Nothing does. Nothing beats copper. Well, except for other stuff. I'm talking about aluminum, between aluminum and copper. So now you actually have that spool made out of aluminum and that copper dip worn out. So therefore, your unit does not work anymore. And right after the warranty has just expired, your luck, right? No, it's not luck. It's created that way. And just think about it. Just think about it. It's created that way. And that is just one way where these actual manufacturers, these factories, can manipulate, and every cent counts coming out of that factory. So multiply that times a lot of actual completed units, and you just cut a big corner there. You cut a big chunk of change for profit. And I actually seen that come through, but actually on the actual recycling center. That is my hobby. My hobby is recycle any kind of electronic that I can get out of it and resell it to the buyers. And it comes in change. The actual money comes in handy sometimes, and that's just another way that you actually have to just deal with it, I guess, and for customs, they can actually check if there's a problem coming out of a certain factory, they'll be brought in, but there's other agencies that will actually uh, conduct a primary investigation, you know, and they still got to import through customs, so that's how we become in touch bases on that actual subject there. All right, guys, just a little bit different thing for you guys. Hope you guys like, subscribe. Thanks a lot.